Alright, man, here we are. First installment of Guru's Black and White Conversations. This is a new kind of installment of what I got going on. You know, I know a lot of people have heard of my show, one of the best podcasts in the world, Guru Speaks Podcast, man.
Shout out to the homie.
Yes, sir. And I got somebody here, man, that's near and dear to me, one of my mentors, in media, out of media. My big bro Mike Lake in the building. What's cracking, homie?
Yeah, it was good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, bro. So we just gonna go ahead and get it popping, bro. So I wanted to sit you down and ask you a couple questions, man, because I love where everything is it is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Full circumference, so where everything is now. But you know, I want to get the story from where everything started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The origin of shit.
Origin story.
Right.
You know I'm a nerd. Origin stories get me a little hype.
So, first of all, how did you even get into podcasting? You by yourself?
Man, like the original, so we talked about this a little bit on the phone, but I'll give it to you for the people. It was something I was interested in. I listened to podcasts. I've always been a fan of media and talk shows, and I've always paid real close attention to how people interview and things like that. But most directly related to podcasts specifically was shout out to, man, I forget the name of their show, but shout out to Brandon Keister and Isaiah Reyes. The two homies was doing a podcast right around the time I was kind of kicking around the original idea.
At what time frame are we talking?
We talking like 2013,
So
14-ish.
early.
Yeah, I was living over there for, it don't matter where I live. But yeah, it was an idea I was kicking around. For those who know me, shout out to my whole squad, BTL, about that life. We would meet up every Friday. We would kick it, have some great conversations. Like elite level conversations about music and politics and life and girls or whatever. And I was like, this shit needs to be bottled and sold. So I was kicking around the idea of starting a podcast. My guys over here were starting a podcast, and they asked me if I minded coming on. I said, yeah,
right.
I'll just come shoot. And theirs was like a comedy podcast.
Right.
Because they were both looking to get into comedy. But I went on there. We had a good time. We kicked some jokes. We told some stories. And when I left there, I was like, this what the fuck I'm doing. I'm doing this shit.
So the passion was born.
Bro, the passion was already bubbling, and they put fire on that gas. You know what I mean? They put gas on that fire, excuse me. And I left there immediately, went home, did a business plan. For those who don't know, business plan portion of a business is important as fuck. I can curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Feel free.
It's important. I should have asked first, bro.
It's all good.
But yeah, it's important as fuck. For those who don't know, I'm not gonna act like I started 100 businesses. I'm not gonna act like I'm a business guy or even like a business guru. Shout out to you. But my dad ran businesses. My granddad ran businesses. Our granddads had a business together.
Absolutely.
Business plan portion is important. It's the blueprint. It's what you do. So I went home that night. I left his house around midnight. I went home and did my business plan. Started working on it. And is this lucrative? Can this make money? Because it could be fun, and I could be passionate.
Right.
We could do some cool shit and get some information out there, but is it lucrative? And I did the numbers. Not a whole lot of overhead, and the only potential for money through advertising or whatever, but y'all got to come to my class to get all the secrets.
Get the jewels.
Just know that after I did the BP, the business plan, I was like, this seems like something I could do, but I could actually even scale it up. Instead of just starting a podcast, why not just start a media company so I can diversify what we offer, making it further lucrative. So I like to use a scale real quick. I like to use a scale. You know how you go on Google and you look for meals? They give you the dollar sign scale?
Yeah.
Well, podcast by itself, probably $1 sign, 1.5. Potential, you got upward mobility. I mean, if you get on like Deezus and Mero, Joe Budden, Joe Rogan, that level, yeah, you got major scalability. But on my own, being independent, wanting to be financially independent, I was like, the media company, let me see what that do. So I did some market research. I checked it out. All in all, I'm gonna just say it somewhere in the ballpark of $2, $3, or $4 signs. I'm gonna just leave it vague.
So before we go deeper into the story, I want to give the people a backstory how you and I even met.
Yeah. You want me to give it to him or you gonna give it to him?
Well, it can be.
Go ahead.
So I used to be in McDitton's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Claude in the building.
Good old McDitton's.
And I was like, man, it was my homeboy I used to go to the bar at the time. And I remember seeing you and Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry, man. Dancing and Will used to be dancing ass niggas, man. So I ran into you. We on the stage. We talking. This is like 2012. I'm a youngster. I'm like ain't even 21 yet. So me and you started talking, and we started getting to battle rap. He was like, "Yo, you on that show?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm on it, bro." And then
it surprised me when people be on it because like some people watch leisurely, and then there's other people who really get it. And we was on the same page with that. Like I'm heavy in the battle rap.
And at the time, I really was. And we started talking, man. We built a rapport. And just the origin from there. And then years later, I saw you on Facebook. You was talking about podcasts. And I'm like, man, I had fell in love with podcasts. And I was like, yo, let me get on. I remember hitting you up on Facebook. I was like, yo, let me get on there, big bro. And you was like, come through.
Yeah.
And then we did the first show. And at the time it was...
That's when you had the Laker jersey on?
Yep.
Yeah,
we was talking about K-Dot.
Yeah. Kendrick had just dropped Butterfly.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I remember you asking me, I was like, did I like it? I was like, maybe. I said it was cool, but... And then you was like, man, go back and listen. And I remember telling my uncle also said that to me too. It's not like Good Kid. You know what I'm saying? It was something you got to listen to intimately. And yeah, man, after that, you was like, yo... I think you'd be dope to have a show. I'm like,
I still, yes, I saw it. Like no homo.
Yeah.
I hear it in the voice. You got a deep, full voice, and your ideas. I was like, you kind of young, and you could, you know, what I'm saying, you could be molded. you could be molded into a proper, not that you're not intellectual, but into somebody who can lead the people. You know, lead his audience.
Right.
Whatever that audience may look like. So I was like. Man, we connected. I knew the type of convos we had. I knew some of the views that you brought to the table.
Right.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm like you. One thing you always say, you like throwing the assist. I've been a point guard my whole life, and that's not just to give them a bar, which is that's a bar. But real life, I play point guard in basketball. Like I'm a PG. I kick assists all day. Also, I can't shoot, but that's another stuff for another time. No, but really, I was like, let me like even if this doesn't benefit me at all. I fuck with you. We cool. Let me try to put you on. And
it's crazy, bro. Cause after that, we set it up, but we never got to it.
I know where this is going.
Then another year goes by. My man Darnell hits me up. He's like, "Yo, let's click up and do a show." And I'm like, "Yeah." Big Mike said he get executive producer. Let me hit him up. We kept getting stalled.
I knew this where this was going.
Stalled.
I was not stalling, bro.
But
I was busy.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, like, I appreciate that because that helped me get more proficient in the media business. I learned how to edit on my own. I learned how to do everything.
That was the lesson I was trying to teach you. I'm lying.
And so
I was really just busy, man. I was going through tumultuous part of my relationship. My son, I'm a parent, and I also was running the Pour Up at the time. And we'll probably get into this a little bit in a minute, but SVM, I had a roster of other podcasts that I was editing. My roster was full, so to add another show was just I didn't want to half-ass it. I didn't want to do that, but yeah, you can like
and everything happened for a reason. So right around the time Darnell and I, we went on a good run and a half. We had like a season and a half.
Certified was real, man. I fucked with it.
We knocked out about 13 joints, episodes. They're still out there available. Well, I took them down because I was like, nah.
So they're not available.
Yeah, they're not available. Per request. But yeah, so me and him talking about me having my own show. So I was like, let me ask Big Dog one more time if he available, because you know I know what I want to do, and I know I want my shit to be top tier.
Circumstances changed, man.
And so
I had moved. My son was in my house. It was just me and him, and I had a lot of free time.
Right. So
and the other shows wasn't around. But
so when I hit you up, I was like, yo, big dog, I'm ready. Are you fucking ready? Because I know last time we couldn't get it right. You was like, yeah, man, come through. Let's chop it up. And then Guru Speaks podcast was born,
We
man.
hit the ground running. And for those who listening on the strength of Guru, I'm the mic that he always was talking to. So.
And at that time, season 1, we didn't have video yet.
Yeah. So
it's straight audio, straight
check
cooking.
out no Pearlies. I ain't got no grill right now, but what up?
Straight cooking audio, so it's just like, you know.
Your story kind of skipped me ahead because that chapter SVM was rough. And I appreciate you joining and helping me take it to the next level, just like Claude CP34. He helped me take it to the next level. Like, both of those integrations was major help, major blessing. Like, we are friends also, but business partners all the same. I thank y'all for that shit. But I am jumping ahead.
Yeah, we jumping a little ahead. We gonna get there. So I just want to give people a backstory of how we came to be. And funny story, our family knows each other. Our grandfathers were in business. Our moms go back. You know what I'm saying?
High school, they know each other by. Your mom know my mom by her maiden name.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Your granddad knew my dad as a kid.
Yeah.
Both of our grandfathers was tight like us now.
Yeah, for
which
real.
Is not by design. We
Secrecy,
met
bro.
Separate from. We figured that out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At my birthday last year, and I was like, you was like, yo, I know that dude. I'm like, my grandpa?
Yeah.
And you was like, yeah, man, and you know what they did for your grandfather. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace of I told the story last night, and the short version is, my grandfather was a Mason, and he passed, and I had no clue. I helped plan the funeral. I had no clue they was going to do this. They came in and honored him in such a what's the word I want to use? Like when you put somebody on a pedestal, like
honorable.
They put the highest level of what seemed like honor to me. They came in marching, carried out the casket the way they did. That whole thing was amazing to me, man. That implanted in my mind, especially at a time like that, where my grandfather is one of my most influential people all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few, but my granddad was like piano, music,
right,
college educated, English teacher. Probably more than half the reason why I speak this way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, granddad was everything. And for them to put him up there too, let me know people seen it too. And shouts to your granddad for that. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's just like one of those things when you serve the people and when you have did your job, you know, to the people, you get served pretty much like when it's all said and done. So, but we gonna get off the somber note.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But that shit meant a lot to me, man.
Yeah,
I'll never ever forget that. Ever.
Absolutely. So, right, so I come through, we do the first session.
I'm gonna keep pouring up.
Yeah, go ahead, big dog. So, after you leave the comedy podcast, and you said the fire was burning like crazy, the sensation was.
The combo was fun.
So, what was the next step after you said, I got my business plan done? What was next after that? What?
Well, luckily for me, and I didn't know I was gonna go all the way back on this, but for those who know, I had a little stint in the rap section of my life in my younger 20s. And me and my homie Steve, I was Mike the Champ, he was Steve Cash, and we were the Juggernauts. But we used to rap on some hobby shit. And after we had a little differing of ideas with our former group, we got our own equipment and we did our own little thing. So I had already had a microphone. I had a few assets. I had a microphone, I had an interface, I had some software, but it was outdated. Because that was from like 06 and this is like 2013, so you know how software moves.
Yeah.
But after I did the business plan, part of the business plan is listing your assets, what's available, what you need. And I knew that I had some stuff, so I was like, let me dig it out and see what it's going to be. And then also, you got to multitask. If you really want to do this business shit, lesson one, multitask. Like, you got to multitask. So while I'm physically looking for shit, I'm also mentally still formulating what the show going to be. And me and the homies was kicking it, BTL, it was 9 of us. That's not a show. You can't do that.
Yeah, hell no.
The most I've ever seen in a show format is radio or TV is about 4.
4, right.
Who's the 4 I'm gonna pick? All my homies is prolific. All of them bring a different thing to the table. So I'm trying to figure out what it's gonna be. But while I was doing it, I found my old microphone, I found my old interface and shit. That really wasn't viable to use, so I had to go buy some more shit. You want to make money, you got to spend money. So I did that. I got my little bro. Little bro said, what you need? We split on the interface. All in all, we got what we needed to do, what we needed. So We had to do some research.
2013 at this point?
We still in 13. This was the next day.
Oh, wow, okay.
I did the business plan over the next 1 or 2 days. And while I was doing the business plan, I was also looking for the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And still trying to formulate the idea in my head. Mm. So all of that was happening in that same, let's say this was a Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday space. Once I realized my equipment was viable, I bought what I needed pretty much within that week. And by the next week, we was recording the first episode of The Pour Up.
Okay, so how did you come up with the name The Pour Up?
The Pour Up was just kind of figuring out what's marketable, what sounds cool, what's fun. If you're going to start a podcast, get a little game from me. You want your name to be representative of what the show is. And I will admit, The Pour Up may not be the most explanative name, but it is what we doing. That's the medium by which we're delivering information to you. So check your favorite shows. Most of them are going to be named after the host, but the ones that ain't, like The Real, they named theirs because that's what they want to bring to you, The Real. Like me and well, ultimately ended up being me and Steve, but also with various guests like Claude and.
So the origin of the Pour Podcast, who were the members?
Yeah, that's pretty much it was me. Like it was me and the homies. So because I didn't know who.
Okay.
So because they were all so prolific, I didn't know who to choose.
Okay.
So I know, like, I got intellectuals in my group like Claude and JM.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them.
Right.
I got funny ass people in the group like Steve, Don. I got real people in the group like T, and who am I leaving out? Red.
Right.
Everybody bring a different flavor to the shit, and even if I myself fit into any one of the categories, you want a balance.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is always true in my life. If you know me, Steve Mitchell, Steve Cash is my ace.
Right.
So I knew it was gonna be me and him.
Shout
Our chemistry is unimpeachable. You can't crack that 1-2. You know what I mean? Whether that be on the court, on the music shit, on some joke shit, on some spades, whatever y'all want to run. Mike and Steve, we with the shits. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie. That's my brother. So it was me and Steve, and then ultimately we would do guest spots with everybody else.
Okay, so Steve, for those that don't know, Steve Cash is a founding member of The Pour Up and Shift Division Media.
Just The Pour Up.
Just The Pour Up.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so The Pour Up is cooking.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's some growing pains. Episode 1, we recorded with some music in the background. I figured out fast. You can't play music in the background because when you edit, music is a real easy way to figure out where stuff was edited. So we fucked up on the first one. Like, we made some errors, man. It happens.
So okay. So if you could think back to the very first, the pilot episode, who were you guys' guests?
It was just me, Steve, and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah. And my brother, like, we just talk about some music shit. Like, we jumped in, we started talking about some hip hop. We started talking, we just talking. That's what all the podcast really is, but we weren't even thinking, like, we got to be a marketable show. Like, we were just talking.
Right.
And I wish I could find that first episode, but due to some, I mean, I'm going to say it. SoundCloud, fucking, we had the paid subscription to SoundCloud, and then we didn't renew. And I'm thinking, okay,
all that shit down.
When we didn't renew, I was going to move it over, but before I can get the information, they took it all down and kept the latest 2 episodes.
Yep.
So we lost the whole, like, 50 episodes. So I lost it.
I went through that.
And it was not on my hard drive or nothing.
Oh,
it was
shit.
Ghost, which also taught me to back your shit up.
Of course.
With a camera. Back your shit up.
So The Pour Up was going through this growing pains. You're trying to figure out, you got a co-host, which is Steve Cash. Mm-hmm. All right, so all the other members, are they just coming in, going?
Yeah, just whoever was available, who wanted to come see what was what. I knew the chemistry was always there. I knew the roasts would be there. We all got jokes. Mm-hmm. It was just testing different flavors. It was like I was doing my own screen test. I wasn't intentionally doing it, but I just wanted to see who could come in, who could be available. And that's the other thing, too.
Now, was Claude coming in and out?
Claude was there. He was in there a couple episodes, like 2, I want to say 2, 4, and 6, stuff like that. Like, some people could come some days and some couldn't. And it was no knock on them. We would just do what we had.
So you just
until we was able to figure what's what.
Okay.
And once I really figured it out at the end, and no knock on none of my other homies, like, Claude came back to SVM in phase, what I would call 2, with you. But in that early phase, your baby was just being born, right? Oh, you ain't got to answer, but I think his baby was just being born. So he can't dedicate his full time.
Of course.
You know, me and Steve's son right now, 16, mine 15. Our kids is older. A lot of my guys was having babies and getting married at that time. So it was really just a matter of literally who is available.
Right.
But also, me and Steve been doing everything in life together.
So move forward a little bit. So the pour up is cooking or whatever. So when did you form in your mind like I want to add some more members and shows?
Yeah. Well, once the pour up started rolling and we promoting online via social media and all of that, remember when I did the business plan, I already had the idea for the media company. Right. I knew what it would be. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of executing it.
Right.
Excuse me. One thing I found in this business is that people see you doing it, and podcasting is the new mixtape, they say. Everybody want to drop a mixtape back in the day, right? What was that? People have an idea. Oh, I think I want to do a podcast. Let me holler at you. They tell me the idea. I tell them I'm learning how to. Hold on, my eyelashes tangled. I'm learning how to. That shit crazy. I'm learning how to edit and produce. So let me, get a little resume build under my belt by doing your show. So I had a team about 4 or 5. I did a secondary show with JM where we did like some intellectual debate shit. I had the homie T on produce his show.
So what was okay?
And the homie Brandon came through back on some comedy shit because his guy was busy, similar to Stir Pot.
Right.
And
so T has his own show at this point.
Yeah.
You said Brandon has his own show.
Yeah.
And you and JM.
And me and JM. And plus the Pour Up.
Okay, so you still got that.
Yeah.
The Pour Up was like the foundation.
Pour Up is a sports center, baby.
Okay. Yeah. and so what was T's show called?
T was No Filter Needed.
No Filter Needed.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is still 2013 still?
This is like 14.
Okay, so 14. So
late 13, early 14.
Okay, so we in another year. So things is cooking. So how are you feeling at the time as a CEO? Like
I didn't even feel like a CEO, honestly. I CEO didn't come till later. I felt like I was trying to hold the team together. I felt like a player coach.
Okay, like a LeBron.
Yeah.
The GOAT
or Kobe or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay,
whatever name you want to both Lakers. No, but I felt like a player coach because I was doing a show. And I was producing shows, and it was all audio. And some shows was harder than others. Keister was running skits, and had me and then all kind of audio, After Effects and shit. T's was pretty straightforward, and T's had a lot of traction, but
no filter needed.
No filter needed. But one thing I'll tell you, and this Black and White Convos,
100.
They had various levels of dedication, and we also had various levels of what we believed to be happening at the time.
Right.
One of the biggest disagreements I had was with T, and it wasn't an argument or nothing, but how people move and what people think should be happening versus what is actually happening. We had a disagreement, and I told him as friends, I understand if you want to go off and do your own. And I helped him though. We bought an interface, we bought microphones. I told him what he needed. I still was supporting him from afar. He just didn't want to run lock and step. Why'd you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
But anyway, we just didn't. He didn't want to run lock and step no more. But we still was friends. There was no love lost. He kept it a buck. I kept it a buck. We said where we stood and parted ways. So T was out. Ultimately, JM went through whatever he went in his life, and he kind of stepped away from that show.
So it's kind of like, you picking shit up, but shit is falling out your hand.
Yeah, like you ever try to bring socks on the dryer? It's like that.
Yes, perfect analogy. Yeah. So you so at this point you like, fuck, man, I'm thinking I got shit cooking. Now Cass is leaving. Where's your mindset at this point?
But it's still forward.
Marathon continue.
TMC, all of that. But I promise, man, there's no love lost, and this ain't a knock on my guys. Cause still
100. Shout out to T, man.
I still was trying to help them build what they wanted to do. And JM ultimately came back to the Pour Up. The second iteration of the Pour Up involved me, Steve, and JM as a trio.
Okay, so what year is this?
27. What the year is current? 2020.
20, yeah.
It's like 2017.
Okay, so
we was cooking that whole time.
Okay, yeah. So at this point you just, all right, Cats is coming, going, we still going.
Yeah, one thing you'll learn on your journey is that people will come in and they'll go, and they'll be in different places in their life too. Sometimes people having kids. Sometimes people getting married. Sometimes people got a different vision for themselves.
No pun intended.
Yeah, Shift the Vision Media is exactly that. You take control of what you see in your life, and you change what that outlook looks like.
So, are you having various disagreements with guys?
Not really.
No, it's just...
It seemed like disagreement because people wasn't riding, but it wasn't... I don't want to say they wasn't riding. They just felt like they wanted to go their own route.
So
and I was fine with it.
Being the fact that this is black and white combo we having, there's no gray. Well, guys asking for money, just like what that the talent that you had, where guys.
Nobody's asking for money because they know money wasn't being made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because
it wasn't a money disagreement.
Because I know various situations I've been in, whether I would volunteer for youth sports or whatever it be, people, hey, I want to monetize. I'm not wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to throw that question out there because it's not easy to have different talent and people coming in and giving their time for free. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
it's tough because you got to keep not really selling them the dream because selling the dream sounds bad. But it's tough because you got to keep them focused where nobody see your dream like you do.
No.
This ain't exception. My dream is what it is. Shit Division Media will be what it will be. And I don't have to give y'all the whole business plan. But at some point, when we start giving back and doing service and doing our nonprofit shit, you'll see where it's at. Part of that's going to be financial stability for us. It's going to be fun and entertaining. But it's also going to be a service provider. Because that's how we grew up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's my dream. That may not be person A, B, and C's dream.
Mm-hmm.
Some people was doing it for fun. Some people was doing it because they like to talk. Some people was doing it because they want to be seen. And I'm not saying that these was my guys because they're also my friends and we're still very close.
Sure.
But my dream is on this path.
Right.
Their dream went on that path, and we can still run together.
So the second leg of the race.
Mm-hmm.
So we you said 2000.
Phase 2 started when you came back.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because that was a transition from the Pour Up being a trio show. My homie JM moved to New York. Shout out to him in New York.
So JM moved in 2016.
Into 17. I don't. It might have been into 18. Honestly, I don't remember the years.
But he just wasn't physically there when I came.
Because we did. Remember, we had a little stint in Glass House. Shout out to them. That didn't work out. The Pour Up had a lot of iterations because we just not just trying. We've been giving great content the whole time.
Sure.
We trying to have more people see us. And still deliver great content and be consistent. We've been consistent as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But also, venues change, digs change. Sometimes your arena gets shut down and you got to buy a new one. The Lakers had to move out of Oracle and move over to Staples.
Right.
And they had to share Staples with the Clippers. And we was dealing with shit like that too. We was at this house. Sometimes, like, my personal life shit changed and I had to move over here. Me and JM lived together and then he moved. Then I moved to South Tampa. Enter phase 2. Guru comes back.
Right.
This is the
Let me stop you right there. When you say Guru comes back, Guru was never.
He was never with us.
Yeah.
But I say back in the sense of we
you
talked
was
about
available to produce my shit. Had you been available?
We talked about you coming on at the time when I was doing those other 4 shows.
Right.
But now that those guys was on to various endeavors, the roster was open, baby, and I needed a draft pick. What's up?
So
you came back
at this time. So when I come, so I came in
2019.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, where is the company?
At this point, it's right there. It's right there.
Okay.
It's ESPN with only SportsCenter.
Okay.
Because the Pour Up was the only thing popping. At one point, I remember I even I never folded the business. But SVM kind of took a back seat, Shit Division Media. The Pour Up became the forefront. And Facebook wouldn't let me change the name of my the page to the Pour Up because they said it's a different company or whatever the fuck they were saying.
Yeah, Facebook be on that bullshit.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to start new because we had already amassed a certain following. But yeah, it was just the Pour Up. So I was dead focused on the Pour Up. And this is no knock on you, Claude, or anybody. One thing has been true in my life this whole time. Steve Cash got my back. And there was a reason. I said a second ago, I'm on a reverse tangent, but Steve was a founding member of the Pour Up, and he never was a part of SVM. But it was a very specific reason why. Steve was running his own shit.
Okay.
He's over here doing his fitness.
Right.
Shout out to K-Man Tough.
Uh-huh.
Steve K-Man Tough. So he never had any endeavor on the media escape. He just wanted to come have a little fun and talk some hip-hop with me.
Right.
So he's a founding member of the Pour Up, but not of Shit Division.
So
he had no aspirations.
Let's clarify this, because a lot of people even ask me, have I been on SVM day one? And of course I say no. So can you explain and tell who were the founding members on Shift Division Media day uno?
Michael Lake.
And that is it.
Michael Lake and Craig Lake may have a claim as a silent partner who I just named.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my brother, actually, this is something more people should do. Me and my real life little brother, we learned a lot of business from our father. He started a couple businesses, and voluntarily closed some down to make other moves or whatever. But like I said earlier, our grandfathers own shit. So I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit from jump. Me and my brother, you ever read The Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No.
It's a business book. It's one of those ones that everybody has read, like, you know, the laws of power and all of that. Check it out. It's on some business shit. It'll teach you a little bit. It'll open your eyes to like some of the things that you've probably been chasing anyway. Me and my brother read that not too long after high school. And I remember we started a company, shall not be named, but we still own a copyright and a trademark for that shit. We took a meeting down in Miami. We went down there to get a prototype made for the thing that we was trying to do, which is still being remain nameless. And me and my bro on some big dog shit had a big time meeting down at MIA on some conference room shit. And when we get the capital for the thing that I'm talking about, it's still viable. That's why I'm not naming it.
Mm-hmm.
But these are kind of moves we was making when we was making them. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Young. My son's like 2. I'm like 20, 21. And we out here driving down to Miami to have a meeting with some company to make some shit.
Make some money.
Now, we didn't have the capital for it, and we probably could have raised the capital for it, but we decided to hold off. But that's the kind of shit we've been doing. My brother owns a daycare. There's other shit in the works, and there's other shit going on, and there's business moves being made behind the scenes. So one of the things I love about like our family, we talk stocks, we talk business endeavors, we talk real life, like tangible shit, and we hold each other accountable. And my brother was one of the early, like when you say founding members, he never helped with the idea, but he sat and listened to me talk for hours on the phone, kicking ideas, fine tuning shit, tweaking shit.
So this was your dream.
It's all me, baby. And I don't mean to say that to diss nobody else because I had help along the way. The squad that I told you about, they were integral in several processes where we were splitting shit to do, like what Shift Division looks like today was what it was then. But we made steps forward because consistency is key.
So right around the time I come on,
mm-hmm.
So at this time is Guru Speaks podcast is born in the Pour Up.
Yeah.
Okay, then we moved, it's 2019. So then, I'm going to tell you, I remember Claude coming in, he'll take a couple pictures, head out. Claude wasn't really involved, but see, I didn't know Claude was original member. I'm not original member.
He was on the early Pour Up.
He was on the early shit, because I wasn't even around. I had just met you around that time, and Claude. So I didn't know that. So he'll come in, take a couple pictures or whatever, and he'll pop out. So when did it come? But we talking about everything comes full circle. So when did Claude get integrated into where he is now?
Well, the one dope thing about Claude, and this is a dope thing, and I told you this was something I liked about you too. I surround myself, and this wasn't even intentional because it was just me connecting on vibes with the homies. So I'm not gonna act like I did this on purpose, but I surround myself with people who push me forward, and people who I'm a born procrastinator. But I get shit shaken.
Or what about a born sinner?
I am a born sinner too. Shout out to Cole. But yeah, like I'm a born procrastinator. I was talking about this the other day. I had a homework assignment. I had 5 homework assignments to do this week. I waited until basically today when they're due to do them.
To do it.
I've been that way my whole life. Partly because one, I'm smart. I'm gonna toot my own horn on that, and I know I don't have like I could get it done later, so I'm gonna push it. Also, I'll be late to shit. If you don't know me, I'll be late. Y'all know I'll be late, but anyway, it's just one of them things. But Claude is so dope because Claude, there's a few times Claude would make, like we would be drinking and just talking, and I knew Claude had his young baby, my goddaughter. She's a handful. She's busy, and as she's starting to age, they're starting a little more freedom. His girl and my girl are best friends. There's a lot of interconnectivity there between me and him. So there'll be times where we'll be talking about like a pour up, and he'll be giving me ideas, or he'll be telling me what he thinks, and he'd be like, "We should start our own show." And I would, and not that I would brush him off. I hear everything. I take it into account. I would file it away because it wasn't time yet. There's a time for everything. It just so happened this one particular time, Claude fell through. I think you're on a guest spot. Were you on a guest spot on the pour up?
Yeah.
He fell through on a guest spot just to kick it with the homies, with me and Steve. And it was, I was like, I think it's time. I was like, I'm ready to take it to the next level. But what's the next level? I said, we need to increase in visibility. Me and Steve need to be seen more. We get heard a lot, and people tell us they watch the show all the time. We get thousands of listens. We had thousands on SoundCloud. We got thousands on Anchor.
Talk to me.
We've been putting in work. We've been consistent. But what do we need more? Better marketing and better visibility. When we had a video aspect, he said I could do that. When we get graphics and shit for commercials and promo, he said I could do that. I say,
yeah, baby.
I'm like, yo, if you can, I need your help. Can you come in and help me with that?
Now, let me cut you off.
And he showed up with the shits.
So when Claude said I help, were you expecting him to take it where he took it, or you was just like, he'll help here and there?
I had no idea what we ended up doing in here with what we did. I had no idea what would go there. I knew that I said I needed help with visibility, and he said I can help you. He had already, the whole time, he's been kicking ideas for shows and shit, which we got a show coming, Elite Nerds. That's going to be fun. We're going to do some nerdy comic booky shit. But he was also kicking me ideas about helping me with the business shit. Just on some friendship shit. Not on no consult money type. He was just being him, as he's my friend with information. One of my smarter friends, he's telling me, here's what I think. Here's what and whatever he went to school for, which I should know. I thought it was history, but you did
science.
You did some graphic design. What'd you go to school for?
Social science.
Social science. Okay. It was JM that was history, but he would just kick me ideas. And when he came in, immediately he was like, I can get a camera. But the dope thing about Claude, so there's a thing. Like my brother does this. I think you do this, and Claude does this too. I surround myself with people like this because I'm a procrastinator. But when I kicked the idea to him, I was like, yo, we could probably like do some video shit. And the next time I talked to him, this nigga had a camera.
Right.
He took the idea, he took the handoff and did it. He executed it.
Right.
I say, yo, I need some graphics. He's shooting me Photoshop shit. And if you look on our website, shitdivisionmedia.com, you'll see all the Photoshops of us. And they're funny as fuck. Which I've always known him to be. He's one of my biggest roasters. He be roasting the fuck out of me. It turned into like, he helped increase that visibility. So one of the 100%. Aspects of our marketing involves those graphics. And he hit the ground running with it. Thank you, bro.
So, and I want to say this too about Claude, not just because he's here, but I'm told
we have to say this because we're at his house,
right? I told both of you gentlemen, you know, how much I appreciate you guys for GSP. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then what we're doing now with Black and White Convos. You know what I'm saying? So, Claude has been a blessing, such as yourself, with my brand and my show, whether it be my artwork, whether it be fucking my episode, everything, my videos, you know what I'm saying? That actually helped my brand. And then when I want to start my own business, you know, Claude did the logo for me. Mm-hmm. So, and like both of y'all, man, like if I hit you an idea at 4 o'clock, 4:15, I can go ahead and wrap. It's done. So thank you, Claude, you know what I'm saying, for all your hard work. Thank you, big bro. But we just gonna keep the marathon rolling. So at this point, I'm here. Claude, we doing the video shit now. So now SVM, we a dual threat. We got video cooking, we got audio cooking. Mm-hmm. So No Filter Needed is back.
Oh, so at around the same time.
So I come in
real quick. Around the same time that I brought Claude in on the video shit, I was talking to the homies about visibility.
Sure.
He said he could help me with the social media marketing.
Okay.
And I said it had nothing to do with No Filter Needed or quid pro quo exchange, nothing. It was on the strength of he's still my homie. We still, like, with his shirt businesses and everything that he want to do, I still support. We still tight. We still friends. So he said I could help you with the social media. I could do some marketing. I said cool. So Claude came in on the video, visual, graphic shit.
Correct.
He came in on the social media.
Yes.
I'm gonna take your IG and Facebook and all that to another level. So
right.
It was like you came in on the phase 2 with Guru Speaks. Them two came in right after you within, let's say, the month that they came in. Mm-hmm. So now it's the pour up. Right. It's Guru Speaks.
Right.
It's video.
Right.
It's graphics.
Right.
And social media promotion.
Okay, because when I got there, when I came back, we did season 1. We knocked season 1 out. Mm-hmm. And then when Claude came, very much. So many memories of season 1. Some of my biggest episodes on season 1. Not saying season 2 ain't classic, but you know,
one was it's the original.
Yes, the first one. So season 2, that's when I integrated YouTube, and so
shouts to CP3 for
Claude, and so now we got Guru Speaks, we got the Pour Up, now we got No Filter Needed.
Yeah. So ultimately, him being around us and him helping market and promote, it's giving him the fire and the drive to get back. He want to bring his show back.
Right.
So I'm all for it. Hey, remember I told y'all at the beginning, multitask.
Sure.
I'm recording shows, I'm producing shows, and we creating shows.
So what?
And you doing the same thing, and so was Claude, and so was T.
So when T was early SVM. I mean, excuse me, early.
Yeah, early SVM.
Early SVM.
Yeah.
So when he was creating his content, because I like to watch all y'all cook. Shout out to T. I be in the studio sometimes just. When he was cooking his stuff, what were you thinking? Like, man, this shit's hot. Like, well, it was some fire shit. Like,
yeah. The dope thing about T, and remember earlier I named y'all archetypes of my homies when I was doing my tests before I realized they were tests. I got intellectual homies like JM and Claude. I got funny homies like Don and Steve. But I got real homies, and when I say real, I'm talking about real, like my real niggas, like Red and T. Mm-hmm. And T is one of the realest, most strongly opinionated people I know. And even if I don't agree with his opinions, if y'all know me, y'all know I love the debate. But even if I don't agree with his opinions, the fact that he holds them so strongly is something I'm always looked at as an asset for him and for myself when he was a part of the team. Yeah.
So the fact that he came back and started doing No Filter Needed again, when he asked you to executive produce it, what were your thoughts?
I would love to. It was one of the best rated shows on our early network.
And what was he talking about at that time?
Well, No Filter Needed is a show based around his opinion, and it's about having no filter. It's right there in the title. Mm-hmm. His opinion unfiltered. So he would take a topic. One of his early topics was lace fronts, and he just go in on some, these bitches in these lace fronts. He had one about fat bitches wearing leggings. He had other shit about relationships and whatever the life and mind of T came to life and No Filter Needed. And that opinion was strong. It was like
so when the homie came back, because all of us was up in here when he was cooking his debut back.
Yeah.
He said he don't want to call it a debut, but it's a comeback. So when the relaunch came back, we was up in. We had a good time. I still got footage.
He featured the pork on that.
The pork was on there, right? All of us was in here. So
the title was "Did You Fuck Him?"
Right.
It was about men being cheated on.
Correct.
Yeah, we had a good time with that one.
And can you check and see the thread on the tire? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all called.
Oh yeah. We was talking about does a vagina snap back? Just to give you an idea what the show's about.
Yeah. It was great content, man.
I loved it. He posted it, I think.
I got footage of that video. You know what I'm saying? I posted that. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, we're a strong team. Now we got GSP. I'm on the high. The pork cooking, cheese cooking, we versatile. Mm-hmm. So you fast forward to a few months later, COVID comes, and then shit.
Take it true. On the launch of No Filter Needed, COVID was already kind of still happening.
COVID was happening.
Early stages.
It was early COVID.
It was out west.
Right. So it wasn't like how it is today. So
Florida wasn't number one yet.
I was 3 episodes in on my season 2. Mm-hmm. I had knocked out 3 joints.
I don't know where the port was, but we took a 2 or 3 month hiatus because everything shut down.
I filled in for Steve one episode.
Yeah, New
Steve.
New Steve 1 because New Steve 2.
That was an all-star weekend. So 2020, started fucked up because we lost the Black Mamba, and then which is crazy still.
Anybody who knows me knows that was rough, man. That fucked me up.
Just touch on that real quick. What did Kobe Bryant mean to you, and how did that affect you?
That I'm laughing, but that's a nervous laugh. That Kobe Bryant, I've been a Laker fan. I was a Laker fan before Kobe got there, and he only intensified my Lakerdom, my Lake showness. It's in my name, and I played basketball watching this guy every game I could watch. I probably missed 10 games ever. I watched I stayed up many late nights.
So you definitely remember the last game. The 60.
Bro, I cried during the last game. I celebrated. I was wearing my jersey. I was in Manhattan.
Drinking.
I was drunk. No, I wasn't even drunk. No, I was drinking, watching the game, and just being amazed that what he did on that final night was what he had done for me many, 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 many times before. A young basketball fan who looked up to this guy like nobody else.
Mamba out.
Mamba out crushed me, bro. I didn't want him to retire, but I knew he needed to.
So
but his death was just
it's very. I actually cried. Kobe means a lot to me. But like we ain't gonna get on the somber note.
Yeah, I'm trying to make me cry over here on the first episode.
Moment. So I'm just painting the picture how.
Let me also say, from a transition, I love basketball and I grew up playing it, but I never thought I could be a pro. I'm 5'9" now. I've always been a small kid. I never thought I would be on, but I watched this guy and the way he was methodical about the way he went about. I use Mamba mentality in my shit, and y'all may not hear me outwardly say it, but just the idea that you could create, that you could be good at something, and you could manifest that just through the sheer will of Mamba mentality was something major. And where he transitioned from basketball into his personal life, he went full dad, which I'm a dad.
Girl dad.
He's a girl dad, but I'm a dad, and I watched him fulfill that. I had been a parent earlier than him, so he might have looked up to me. We don't know. He never said he didn't, so let's just go with that he did.
Claw's a girl dad.
Claw's a girl dad. Shout out to the girl dads and the dads, right? But the ones who was there,
of course.
But when he transitioned to his next stage, he was getting into the media space,
right?
Which is what I want to do, or what I am doing. I'm actively pursuing it too, so I'm watching. He want to write books. He want to do audio books. He's doing kid shit. Me and my girl writing a kid book. Little shit like that. Like he started to become again like influential in my shit. So to have him ripped out like that was rough, man.
So we were just painting the picture how 2020 came in. We were all like cooking, you know what I'm saying? Then COVID came. We had to shut the studio down for 3 months.
COVID really put a hurting on us, but not that we lost money. We just lost momentum.
And I remember calling you one day. I was like, "Big bro, I'm ready to get back to work, man. What the fuck?" And I remember you was like, "I'm gonna call Claude and see." Mm-hmm. And you called Claude. Was like, "We can start open shit up back slowly." I was like, "Man, I'm ready to get to work." You know what I'm saying? So we back now, but we back stronger because we have a multitude of shows now.
We came back with a vengeance.
When I told you I was ready to get back to work, bro, I wasn't fucking playing, dog. Like,
yeah, I knew you were. You was on my ass, and that's again a common theme is gonna be Mike Lake procrastinating on shit, and the people he put around him kicking him in the ass.
You know, it'd be a funny name, big bro. Instead of Mike Lake, Malate, Mike Lake.
Yeah. My pastor used to get that one off.
Mike Lake,
not Mike Late, is the late. All of us. My mom is the late. Where do you think I got it from? Yeah, she we walk in just early, like just right when he was giving his speech, which was 10 or 15 minutes into the
I never got to church on time.
Yeah, but think about it. We're late enough for him to, like, we're past the initial song, we're past the initial prayer, now the pastor talking and we walking in, because we was always like 15 minutes late.
Yo.
So he would call us the lates, the Lates, the lates.
So
Sister Late.
so we come back, everybody, we on deck. GSP is back, the Porv is back, Claude back, he opened the studio up for us. So everybody comes back. So what shows are going forward at this point? Where's
just the core team?
So where's
just before actual shutdown, me and Claude. So this was another stage where Claude took things to the next level. He was building a man cave in his house.
Sure.
And simultaneously, he was on his multitask shit. Mm-hmm. He wanted to turn it into the studio. Instead of recording in my living room, why don't we record in the studio? So he was formatting the situation as you see it now.
SVS, baby.
At Shit the Vision Studios. And we talked about partnering up, me, him, and obviously his wife, because he's married.
Right.
We talked about the money, what it could be. Can it be lucrative? Yeah. We already have all the assets. Let's do it. So we took a couple meetings beforehand, thanks to you and your great recruiting. We took a couple meetings with a few shows. I don't even remember what shows.
Before we get to that point, everybody's back but I remember...
This is before we left.
Oh, okay.
This is before we left. This was the week that the quarantine, like, the committees were still meeting to decide should we shut Florida down.
Right.
We were taking meetings. We did a couple meetings. And we came to the table. We told them what we can offer on the production side and would they be down, and they said yeah. And then quarantine happened.
So quarantine, but we back. Cause like I said, I remember that day vividly. I was getting the Beamer washed up, and I'm like, fuck. I usually love coming over here on Thursdays. That was our shit. Cause I used to record Thursdays.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what the fuck? I ain't got nothing to do. Just waiting for photography. I'm like, so I called him. I'm gonna call this nigga, bro. So I called like, big dog. What the fuck we doing, man? What Claude and them doing? Like, what can I record? You're like, let me put the call in. But we came back. Now, where is no filter needed at this point? Because we all came back.
I thought we was past. The NFN, no filter needed. The only thing I can say about the homie T is
I'm just asking. Ain't nothing. It's just.
I know, bro. We be in black and white, and
right.
I've told him this. We talked about this. So it ain't that he may see this, and it's all on the up and up. But he's otherwise occupied mentally. And what I strictly mean is that he had a couple deaths close to him due to COVID.
Right.
And that he's higher on the cautionary scale on most things. And this one is really, he just want to circle the wagons and be protective
100
of him and his family. So he's staying in, he's working from home, he's doing everything he can to maintain that.
Right.
And I don't think, and that no filter needed is a priority for him right now. And I understand.
Yeah.
Health over everything. And I got no judgment on any of that.
Nah, it's not.
He just when we came back, he didn't come back.
Yeah, that's because I'm just giving the people a chronological order because we all came back.
He dropped the one episode.
The one up, yeah.
And that's all that's there.
The one off, right.
And in the meantime, we've been building Shift Division Studios. Yes, and we got a multitude of shows.
We so at this present time, so we come back from the shutdown, right? Mm-hmm. Shows cooking. What was the first new show that we added on, if you can remember?
What?
We had we did.
Was it Brandy Land?
Yeah, Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy Land.
Down the rabbit hole. Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, Down the Rabbit Hole with Brandy and JoJo, or JoJo and Brandy. That was a networking thing I met through a friend of a friend, and shout out to Kristen, who introduced us. This girl Brandy owns her own business, pole and aerial. It's a pole class that she teaches, and she wanted to do a podcast, so we sat down and talked with her. She said she loved what we told her we could bring to the table, and I'll tell y'all in short, me and Claude, we produce this shit. We produce our asses off.
Well, during this fucking time, like I said, Mike, Claude, Guru, Triangle Offense. I've said that, like, y'all can't fuck with me when it comes to, bro, no lie, I get hit up from various people, whether out of town, in town. Yo, who the fuck does your video work, audio work? Well, people already know who did my audio shit for season 1.
Now we add it.
And then now you add another, you can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't about me, so we just telling the story.
But that is part of the story.
Right.
And you took, one thing is that while you were doing Guru Speaks, we were Triangle. It was your ideas, and it was Claude bringing it the visual, and it was me bringing the audio.
Correct.
And that's the sales pitch. When we talk to people, we say, what's your dream? What you trying to do with this? Oh, we can take you to the next level. Matter of fact, we might could take you up 3-4 levels. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the number is, it just depends on where your show is at. Some people got bad audio, we can increase that. Some people don't have video at all, like we did.
We can supply.
But it's a service, so we need that. So
we in the summertime, and I come to y'all, I say, some George Floyd, rest in peace, happened. And I'm like, I'm heavily bothered. I'm like, what the fuck? So I call you, I put in the group chat with Carl. I'm like, yo, I got this fucking idea. I want to do a panel, some real shit, like me just bringing some people on. I'm going to hit up some conservatives. I'm going to hit up some people that I know.
And the funny part is I'm laughing because this is literally how the conversation went. He really called and he really said these words. And me and Claude went, when? And he went,
I'm like, 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks.
Man, we had to go to a live show. We had to buy equipment. We had to come up with an idea. We had to find a venue. And us three, the Triangle Offense, we worked it. And we worked the problem and we delivered.
Shout out to everybody that was on that panel.
Yes. Shout out to the whole panel. And Guru.
Of course.
And the behind the scenes people.
Yes.
Yeah, Mom.
Destiny, my moms. Even though my photographer Flake, he a buster. this is black and white.
We-
Talking about his fucking tires went flat. But whatever. I'm a photographer now, but at the time, that wasn't even a thought. You know what I'm saying? I needed footage, so thank God for my mom to get that footage and photos. But so we fresh off the panel. You know what I'm saying? Now we in July. I just had a birthday, so shout out to me.
Me too.
Mine's after yours. Yours after.
You say July. July 3rd, July 31st. We out here.
So, alright. So now I call you up. I said, Big Dog, Claude, I got these two girls, man. I think they super dope. I know one of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck can we do to help these girls? And you mind telling that?
Well, see, one dope thing about Guru is that Guru was multitasking. He's wearing multiple hats while he's running Guru Speaks. He also has been recruiting his ass off for Shit Division Media, and part of that is networking. Part of that was bringing them to the panel, and then solidifying them as a potential client, and a teammate, if you will. And that was a convo we had about them. So we sat down and talked, and we told them what we could do. Before we did that, we did our Googles, we did our research. We said, this is where their show is. What can we do? We could take it up a couple notches. And we told them the same, and they with the shit. So they working with us right now.
Shout out to Destiny and Cherie.
Yeah, shout out to everybody on the networking group.
We gonna get in. So I'm like, bro, remember this girl that was on the panel? The one else sit right next to me. One of the most had the most potent personalities on there. All of my family like, yo, who the hell is this girl? From my grandparents, my mom, everybody like, yo, she's the truth. So I call y'all again. I'm like, yo, I got somebody else. She's super dope. I know her from online. I bring y'all this girl. You might explain it.
My guy not lying one bit. This was once again. That literally was the conversation. My reply to Guru was always, send him my info, tell him to get at me. Then me and Claude talk. We set up a schedule. We set up the meeting. We say, hey, we see you got a little platform. And let me rephrase. When people pull that little shit, they try to
I hate shit. That.
I didn't even mean to do that. But we basically hit it. We said, look, we see that you got a voice. We see that you got a message. And your personality is beaming. We could take your show and we can make your random lives and your messages to your friends. We can make this into a show. We could put lightning in a bottle and sell that. And she loved that. And she's on the team too.
So shout out to D Simone.
Shout out to you for recruiting. Shout out to her for coming to the table. And we all work.
I'm telling you,
episode 1 drops. By the time y'all see this, it would have had already dropped. Check
shout out to D Simone.
D Spot.
And now this time I'm a full-fledged photographer.
D Simone Spot.
I open my own business. Yeah, D Spot with D Simone.
Or D Simone Spot.
D Simone Spot.
D whatever. Double D. So this is Black and White Convo with Guru. So now we at present time. So now I'm a full-fledged photographer. I also call you and call again. I'm like, yo, I need a logo for my business. Claude supplied that for me. Shout out to my bro Claude. And so I'm like, yo, whenever people come through, I can shoot them. You know what I'm saying? You might explain.
Once again, that's exactly how the convo went. A dude hit me up. We say, yo, let's do it. So next recording session, she showed up, taking pictures, and whatever you did in post, whatever you did on the camera and in post, you bodied that shit. And we was like, you got some shit here.
Thank you, bro.
Once again, multitasking. My man's running the show. He's doing his photography shit, and here he is still coming up with ideas because that turned into Black and White Conversations.
Yes, and before we wrap, bro, it's been a great conversation sitting down with you,
appreciate you having me, man. This is one of the first times I ever did an interview where I talked about the journey of SVM and where it is.
Because I always wanted to get that backstory for myself because I too thought that certain individuals were there early on. I thought I was a founding member, but clearly I'm not.
Founding member ain't as important as people make it sound. You ever heard of Tesla?
Yeah. Elon Musk.
See, I say Tesla, you say Elon Musk. I tell you there was 2 owners of Tesla before Elon.
And Facebook.
Huh?
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Microsoft and Apple.
I say Facebook, you say Zuckerberg. I say there was 2 people that own that too. That got their money too. So founding member ain't always important.
But when you talking about like organizations, it kind of is in a sense because when you say, I mean, it's not where you at. I mean, it's not where you where started where you are. So I know I came in at a critical time. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the thing I was going to tell you. That's what's not important. Elon came in at the critical time. He took Tesla from what it was to what it is. And that's what that's what I'm saying to you.
Yo.
When you and Clark came in on that phase 2 shit, and we look at SVM right now and where it is, we've incorporated. We're licensed by the county. We got 8 other shows under the belt. Yeah, that's right there. We got 8 other shows under the belt working with Shit Division Studios. We got other shit on the horizon. I got meetings tomorrow for shit. We working. We still giving y'all content. We coming up with new shows, Black and White Conversations, and other shit like that. That while I'm multitasking, you multitasking, he multitasking, and we all Shit Division Media and we working. But also too, you know the way I designed my company is that when you come with something, like I don't own Guru Speaks.
No.
So what I want to do is help you build up. I'm propping you up. So when you get your bag, it's yours. It ain't for me.
Right.
I'm not P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be clear that I'm here running the marathon with you.
I appreciate
you doing the running. You're doing the running too.
So the last leg of the conversation. So we gave people the beginning, the middle,
and I appreciate y'all sticking through.
Present time. So for any artist, not like some Suge Knight shit, you want to be in the videos,
because I'm gonna be dancing in the video.
Right. So now that we caught up present time, we listed pretty much the new members of the network. Shout out to them. Shout out to the existing members, past members. You can't forget where you come from.
Never.
So, for those that's looking to start their journey in media, whether it be podcasting, videoing, what do you and Claude look for in talent? Because I'm bringing the talent to y'all. Matter of fact, I'll call y'all again about somebody who will remain nameless.
We'll talk about it.
Right. So,
matter of fact, we ain't gonna talk about it. They'll see.
Yeah. So, what do you guys look for? I know you can answer for Claude too. Y'all kind of circumvent the conversation, but what do you look for when it comes to talent?
It really simply is about marketability and sellability. Is your idea able to be distilled and sold to the masses? Because we'll distill it. We're the brewery, and then it's on you to go out and sell it. And that's all we look for. Also, dedication, consistency, and that'll show in different ways, because we don't charge a high price for our services, but we do charge a price.
Right.
And if you ain't even willing to commit to that, that tells you where you at in your business journey. Maybe you're not serious. Remember mine? I did the business plan. I found out my equipment was outdated, and I spent money.
Right.
And that's all you got to do. But once you do that, it's about selling it to the people. Is it something somebody want to hear? Would I listen to it? Would I watch it? D. Simone Spot, when y'all watch her show, and I say I'm win because it debuts in like now. She impressed the fuck out of me with what she delivers, and it ain't even like it's her. It's her selling herself to me, but also what I know that could be sold to other people.
Sure.
Guru Speaks. Not only did you bring the dedication, you show up every week. You scheduling, you planning, you coming up with new ideas, but also you sit down and you deliver that message. What's coming from the mind of Guru? What is he saying? And now turning into black and white. I'm gonna watch you, and we talked 2 days ago, where I said, "Hey, what do you need for your shit?"
Yeah.
Because SVM, we're gonna buy some shit. We bought you the monopod or whatever. Not to say like,
yeah, I need gas in my car.
We'll talk about it, but the key there is that I know you're dedicated, and I know you're gonna deliver.
Right.
You've proven that time and again, and you'll prove it again with this. We talked about doing this show, and I gave you a deadline of 8th. It's the 2nd, and we recording this show right now.
Right.
So that's just telling you, that's the kind of shit you look for. When you set a meeting with people, and I'm speaking for Claude a little bit, but when we say, hey, we want to have a meeting with you, let's talk business. When can you be free? Based on when they set the date, we know how serious they are. When they show up to the meeting, when we talk shop, how are you willing to put what you need to do into your business to get it off the ground? We heard all the glory stories. We heard about people like Steve Harvey sleeping in cars. We heard about people like Jay and Dame, them walking wherever they went. Tyler Perry doing whatever he did. Everybody got a story, and are you willing to go the extra mile to get it?
My big homie Nipsey Hussle, literally,
selling
before
out
he
drunk.
bought that plaza, dude used to sell t-shirts. Him and Black Sammy's big brother selling t-shirts, selling $5 mixtapes hand in hand. Then circumvent circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
he buys the whole plaza.
That's crazy. Excuse me.
That whole corner, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, part of business is facing adversity. Part of business is overcoming little things like, you don't think I want to be at home playing Xbox right now? I do. I love Xbox, but I'm working.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know I go to work at 5 a.m. I work from 5 to 3. I'll leave work. I'll go home long enough to poop and maybe grab a snack, and then I'm back here at the studio recording somebody's session.
Right.
However long that take.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go home and take whatever we got going, and I'm editing shit.
Right.
But I'm multitasking my ass off. Because while I wear the president hat or the CEO hat, I'm also wearing a producer hat, and I'm a host.
Right.
And I've been doing that for 4 years. And so have my team. Shout out to you and Claude and
for sure.
T and Steve and everybody.
The whole fucking team.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cass, T, Claude,
Mm-hmm.
all the original new members. That's what we got. With original new members, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it, man.
And also, before I forget, Netta. She's on the team now.
Yeah.
New show, a lot.
So one thing that we starting up, and I'll just go ahead and announce it here, the creative interface. You go to our website, it's our networking group. It's the people that we work with that come to the studio. They come and we cross promoting, we cross interviewing,
City Speaks.
We got City Speaks, we got Netta's unnamed podcast. I think we going with the Boss Behind the Sheet.
Real quick, can you explain to the people the difference? Who is on Shit Division Media Network and who's using Shit Division Studios?
Well, the network at its core, Shit Division Media, is the Poor Podcast. This Guru Speaks podcast, which I'm understanding is transitioning to Black and White Convos.
Two. We're gonna transition out to where we are.
However that works.
Yeah.
We got Guru's Endeavors. We got the Poor Podcast. We have Elite Nerds, and No Filter Needed if he decides to continue going forward with that.
And so all the rest of the members are just using Shit Division services.
They're part of Shit Division Studios. SBS. And part of the studio is a networking group, and we have
fucking S's, bro.
6, 7 podcasts on that.
Man, where you and Claude have taken this is amazing, and what Claude did to this place in here, bro.
The space that we're in is all sweat equity on Claude's part.
People call me, and they're like, "Yo," they act like I'm in like Daddy's house with Puff recording in Manhattan.
Is that the name of his?
Yeah, the studio. You never heard Big say we had Daddy's house? That was the name of the studio. That's crazy.
Go ahead, man. Go. You go to Daddy's house, you got a party.
That was the name of the studio.
But yeah,
to make a long story short,
people see what it is.
You see us working. You see GSP. You see Black and White. You see the Pour Up. You see Elite Nerds. You see everybody working. Everybody, and No Filter Needed. Everybody consistently put in work. So now that we know what talent you and Claude look for, what is next for Shit Division Media?
That's a loaded question. We're going to focus on creative interface. The creative interface is where creators come to interface with each other and with the people. We'll try to grow that roster, and man, honestly, we're gonna build and improve. We're gonna take
Elite Nerds eventually.
Elite Nerds podcast. That's we writing behind the scenes, but no, we're gonna try to build up the infrastructure, better cameras, better microphones, better equipment. We're going to try to be more mobile. We're going to watch Black and White for that. Black and White is going to be... We're in the studio today for this first episode, but I believe it's going to be on scene where the people are. So, live events. When shit opens back up after COVID, we're going to be at the beach. We're going to do this. We might have another panel. There's a lot going on, man.
Yeah, man.
So I can't call it because, we got to be fluid with the times that we live in, COVID times and Trumpian era bullshit. But also at the same time, remember I said at the beginning, must be multitasking. And we working.
So to close out, big bro, I really appreciate you, man, sitting down, chopping it up with your boy.
Thank you.
For my first installment of Black and White Convos. Shout out to Claude. We gonna bust it down and edit this. Do you have any last remarks? What when somebody look at this video,
what I want them to take away?
A few questions for you.
Okay.
Who is Mike Lake?
Mike Lake is a people person. Mike Lake is here for the people. I was raised to not believe, but I was raised to know that you must be of service when you can provide. You know the old with great power comes responsibility, or the flip, with great ability comes great responsibility. I was raised to believe that true and true. My dad's a veteran, Army veteran. My grandfather served his entire life as a teacher, as a funeral home director, and as a pianist in the church. I've been raised under service, and I want to give back to the people. So who am I?
Service.
I'm that guy. I'm here for y'all.
What's the best piece of advice Mike Lake has got?
Best piece of advice that I've gotten. Really, man, it's about my grandfather. My grandfather used to always get on me, and this wasn't even advice. This was life lessons taught through discipline. But if you don't know something, go learn it, and if you start something, finish it. And I aggregated that through a litany of lessons. He's literally physically taught me through beatings.
Say that one more time.
If you don't know something, go learn it. And if you start something, finish it.
What's the worst piece of advice you ever got?
Worst? You ain't gonna be shit. And that ain't from nobody specific. It's just some funny... you tell people your dreams and they'll tell you it ain't gonna work. I played football. I never planned to be a football player. I played basketball. I never planned to be a basketball player. I've had people who weren't on board with the dream, and I had people who was a hindrance to the dream, even if they was partially on board. All of that stuff aggregates to why you doing that? That ain't gonna work, and that's terrible advice. Push through.
So, last words, bro. What? Somebody look at this video. What you want them to take away from this?
If you ever wanted to ever be anything, there always be somebody that'll shoot down any dream. There always be haters. That's the way it is. Hated niggas marry hated bitches that had hated kids. No, that's a Ye quote. But the truth of the matter is, if you can think of something you want to do, you can do it. You just take Ye's advice and ignore the haters and shoot for your dreams. If you ever want to be anything, shoot for it, man.
So there you have it. Guru's Black and White Conversations, the first episode, first installment.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thanks to my first guest, Big Dog Mike Lake. I still want equity in the company. And I'm out of here, man. The marathon continues. Shout out to my whole team, Shit Division Media. Long live Nipsey Hussle. I'm out of here. Y'all be